A great patio can make your backyard feel like an outdoor living room, and a cheap one can drag the whole yard down with it. The thing is, most patios don't look cheap because the owner didn't spend money. They look cheap because of a handful of design and material mistakes that are completely avoidable. These are 10 patio mistakes that make your backyard look cheap, and exactly how to fix each one. Stick around because the number one mistake is the most common patio of all, and the fix can transform it without tearing it out. And tell me in the comments what your patio is made of: concrete, pavers, or something else. Number 10. Cheap solar stake lights lining the patio. Those little dollar store solar stakes seem like an easy win, but a patio ringed with 30 dm bluish dots looks more like a runway than a relaxing space. Budget solar lights put out only about 5 to 15 lumens, barely enough to cast a shadow. Their plastic housing's yellow, they tip over, and the cheap batteries lose their charge after a winter or two. The fix is fewer, better, warmer lights. A handful of quality fixtures at 2700 Kelvin, that warm candle-like tone, does more than 24 cold blue ones. String lights overhead, a couple of well-placed path lights rated at least 50 lumens, or low-voltage uplights on a tree instantly make a patio feel intimate and high-end. Warm and intentional beats cheap and scattered every time. Number 9. A pergola that's pure decoration. An open slat pergola looks great in photos, but here's what nobody mentions. Those open slats only block around 30% of the sun, and they do nothing at all when it rains. So you end up with a structure that's too hot to sit under at midday and useless the moment the weather turns. A decoration, not a destination. If you want a pergola that actually gets used, give it a real cover, a louvered adjustable roof, a polycarbonate or glass panel, or even a simple shade sail or canopy. A covered structure you can sit under in sun or light rain earns its space and makes the patio feel like a true outdoor room. An open frame nobody uses just looks like wasted money. Number 8. A big matchy-matchy furniture set straight out of the box. You know the one? The 9-piece dark wicker or resin set where every single piece matches, bought as one package. It fills the space, but it reads as generic and mass-produced, like a hotel lobby or a model home with zero personality. Designers almost never use a perfectly matched set. The fix is to break it up. Keep some pieces, then mix in a different style coffee table, a couple of accent chairs that don't match, or a bench, and tie it together with cushions and a rug in a consistent color palette. That mix of pieces is what makes a patio feel collected and custom instead of ordered from a single catalog page. Number 7. Furniture shoved against the edges. A lot of people push all their patio furniture out to the perimeter, backs against the railing, leaving a big, awkward, empty hole in the middle. It makes a space feel like a waiting room, not a living room. Indoors, you would never line every chair up against the walls, and the same rule applies outside. The fix is to pull the furniture in and group it. Float the seating into a conversation arrangement, chairs angled toward each other around a coffee table or fire feature, anchored on an outdoor rug. Even on a small patio, pulling the pieces together into one cozy grouping makes the whole space feel intentional, inviting, and far more expensive. Number 6. A cheap, rusty fire pit and mismatched accessories. That thin steel big box fire bowl that rusts through in a season, plopped in a random spot with a few plastic chairs around it, instantly cheapens a patio. Mismatched odds and ends like a faded umbrella here, a plastic side table there, or a random cooler do the same. Clutter and rust read as neglect. The fix isn't necessarily spending more, it's choosing fewer, better, coordinated pieces. A solid fire feature in a finish that lasts, placed deliberately as a focal point with seating arranged around it, becomes the heart of the patio. Keep the accessories in the same materials and tones, and the whole space suddenly looks pulled together. The top 3 are the foundation of the whole patio. Get these wrong, and nothing on top of them looks right. So stay with me. Number 5. No edge restraint. On a paver or gravel patio, the edges are what hold everything together, and without a proper border, the pavers slowly creep outward, the gravel spills into the lawn, and the whole patio starts to look like it is melting at the sides. Ragged, spreading edges are a dead giveaway of a cheap DIY gone wrong job. The fix is a hidden edge restraint, a steel or paver edge border installed flush around the perimeter to lock the pavers or gravel in place, with a clean line where the patio meets the grass. A crisp, contained edge makes even a basic patio look professionally installed. A crumbling, spreading one makes an expensive patio look cheap. Number 4. Pavers with weeds growing up through the joints. Few things make a patio look more neglected than grass and weeds sprouting between every paver, with ants pushing up little mounds of sand. It usually means the joints were filled with plain sand that washes out and lets weeds take hold. The fix is polymeric sand, a special jointing sand that hardens when you wet it, locking the pavers together and sealing the joints against weeds and insects. Sweep out the old sand, brush in the polymeric sand, mist it to set, and the joints stay clean and solid for years. Tight, weed-free joints are the difference between a patio that looks maintained and one that looks abandoned. Number 3. A patio that's too small for its furniture. This is one of the most common mistakes there is. A patio so undersized that the dining chairs hang half off the edge into the grass, and you can't pull a chair out without stepping onto the lawn. A cramped patio always reads as an afterthought. The rule the pros use is that a 6-seat dining set needs roughly a 10 by 10 foot space, and you want at least 24 inches of clearance behind each chair so people can actually push back and stand up. If your patio is too tight, the fix is usually to extend it, even by a few feet, or scale the furniture down to fit properly. A patio that comfortably holds its furniture with room to move instantly feels generous and well-planned. Number 2. Cracked, stained concrete. A patio slab webbed with cracks and blotched with gray-green stains drags down everything around it. Concrete cracks for 2 avoidable reasons: a lack of control joints and not being sealed. Control joints are the grooves cut into the slab that tell it where to crack in a straight, hidden line instead of randomly across the surface, and they should be spaced roughly every 8 to 10 feet. If your slab is already cracked and stained, you do not necessarily have to tear it out. Clean it, fill the cracks with a flexible filler, and either seal it or cover it with a concrete overlay, a stain, or a layer of pavers. A clean, sealed, crack-free surface is the baseline for a patio that looks cared for. Number 1. The biggest patio mistake of all: a giant bare gray concrete slab with no zones. A single flat rectangle of plain gray concrete with all the furniture floating in the middle of it reads exactly like a parking lot. There is nothing for the eye to hold on to, no sense that anyone designed it. It is the most common cheap patio look there is. The good news is, you almost never have to rip it out to fix it. Break that big slab into zones and add texture. Stain or resurface it, score a pattern into it. Lay an outdoor rug to define a dining area and another for lounging. Add a border of contrasting pavers, or change levels and materials so it reads as rooms instead of one blank pad. Giving a patio defined zones and some surface interest is the single biggest thing you can do to make it look custom and expensive, instead of like a slab the builder poured and forgot. So there's your patio playbook: 10 mistakes quietly making your backyard look cheap, and the fixes that turn it into an outdoor room you actually want to use. If you only do one thing, break up that big bare slab with zones and an outdoor rug. It transforms the whole space without a jackhammer. And swap those cold blue solar lights for a few warm ones while you're at it. If this gave you some ideas, hit subscribe. This is Yardworthy, where we decode exactly what makes a yard look expensive, one fix at a time. I'll see you in the next one.